The trial in case number SS 98/2025 shall commence today, Monday, the 20th of July, 2026, and shall continue uninterruptedly up until Friday, the 7th day of August 2026. The trial shall then pause during, number 2, the trial shall then pause during the period Tuesday, the 11th of August 2026, up until Friday, the 28th day of August 2026. 3, the trial shall resume again on Monday, the 31st day of August 2026, and shall continue uninterruptedly up until Friday, the 18th day of September 2026. That is the order of this court. Thank you.
All right, let's unpack that story a bit further. We are joined in studio by SABC News reporter Neria Hlakotsa, who's been following that story. Neria, good evening. Thank you for coming through. So just for the benefit of our viewers and locating us, right, in terms of where we are in the many matters involving or allegedly involving Vusumuzi Matlala, which one is this trial as opposed to the one where there was a plea and sentencing agreement that fell through?
Good evening to you, Tulasiso, and thank you for having me. Well, the case that we're talking about right now is the attempted murder case that is against Vusumuzi Matlala and 4 others. You must remember that the state in this case is alleging that Vusumuzi Matlala was the mastermind behind the botched assassination of Tebogo Tobejane, who is his former partner, the botched assassination of Josie Banyoni and Sienki Mukubung. Sienki Mukubung is known to many as DJ Vedis. So these incidents happened from 2022. This is the Josie Banyoni case. Then in 2023, we had the Tobejane case. And in 2024, then it was the Sienki Mukubung case. So all these victims were allegedly shot at from Matlala, telling the gunmen, the alleged gunmen in this case, to do so on instruction of Matlala. And now we are seeing that the trial has started in earnest, and they will have to answer to those charges.
What do we know of the investigation that went into it? My understanding is that the SAPS, at least, for their part, they are confident that the case that they've taken to prosecutors is a strong one.
It was an intense investigation, and I'm saying this because, remember, the state is very clear that the evidence itself is circumstantial. You know, they are relying on voice messages between the gunmen themselves, the alleged gunmen themselves. They're relying on cell phone being traced or being placed at the scene of the crime. Yeah. And that's what Matlala has always said, that he wants to see where he is in all these criminal activities. But then you have a state witness such as Tebogo Tobejane, who's telling the state that because of the relationship she had with Matlala, when it ended, it was very acrimonious, and she knows details that Matlala wouldn't want anybody else to know, very intimate details that Matlala wouldn't want people to know, and as a result, she believes that, you know, she could have been the target of Matlala. So these are the things that the state is relying on. But in the case of Sibanyoni and Sienki Mukubung, the state has since then found the rifles that were used during those 2 shootings that happened. But with the Tobejane case, there's still no rifle that can be found in the possession. And yeah, they're maintaining that it's a strong case, it's a tight one. It remains to be seen.
And somehow, Neria, this also triangulates back to the Amand Swart murder as well. Talk to us about that link. And that's part of what makes this complex but intriguing at the same time.
Definitely, and it's interesting that you mentioned the Amand Swart case. So how this could link is because of these alleged gunmen. Diego Mabusela and Mosake Kana, they're accused number 1 and 2 in this matter. They are also facing charges of murder in the Amand Swart case. The state is saying they are the gunmen in that case as well. So this is how we get them to link here, because the state, remember, even said in some of the rifles that were found found. It's the rifles that were used in the Amanswart case, and some of the rifles were also used in this very attempted murder case. So these two alleged gunmen are the ones that are linking this, and they are facing those charges of murder alongside Katie Molefe, another alleged underworld kingpin in this case. Their matter is later this year also.
So pleas of not guilty all round, quite different from that botched, plea and sentencing agreement where we have that now famous video of Vusumuzi Matlala pleading guilty, only for that to fall through at a later stage. Pleas of not guilty, where does that leave us procedurally? What was this about the lead counsel not being available and then the judge finally saying, I'm setting this matter down for it to run continuously, uninterruptedly a bit later on?
Look, the pleas themselves were expected to be not guilty. I mean, just to take you back a little, when you look at accused number 5, who stands accused of money laundering in this case, she made representations to the DPP and to the NDPP also to ask that the charges against her be withdrawn. They feel that these charges will not stick. So it wasn't really surprising that they will take that route, because initially even Matlala's legal team herself had said that, her client is not guilty of these, and he wants to remove this cloud over him. That's why he wants a speedy trial. But just also going back to the issue of them right now saying that they maintain their innocence. It's going to be a tricky one that they have to explain. They have to explain the monies, why were monies being transferred around the time of these shooting incidents. And that's what the state basically wants to know. But with regards to then the issue of the trial. So initially the trial was supposed to start today uninterrupted. But what has happened is that one of the legal defense teams has asked that he be excused for a duration between 11 and 28 August, because he has another matter that he wants to deal with. And that was agreed upon already during pre-trial. So that's just what's going to happen.
All right, Neria, thank you for explaining it so well for us and walking us through everything that we have witnessed in that particular case. Neria Hlakotsa, SABC News reporter on that particular trial.